The Middle East remains one of the most volatile regions in the world, and the ongoing tensions involving Israel, Iran, and the United States continue to shape global politics. Although large-scale fighting has eased compared to the peak of recent military exchanges, the situation remains fragile. Israel continues to state that it will act against threats to its national security, particularly those linked to Iranian-backed armed groups operating across the region. Iran, on the other hand, insists that it has the right to defend its interests and support its regional allies. The United States maintains a strong military presence in the Middle East, supporting Israel while also working to prevent the conflict from expanding into a wider regional war. Military forces remain on high alert, intelligence operations continue around the clock, and diplomatic negotiations are taking place behind closed doors. Around the world, governments are closely monitoring developments because any major escalation could affect global energy markets, international trade, and regional stability. The United States has played a significant role throughout the crisis. American officials have repeatedly emphasized their commitment to Israel's security while also urging restraint to avoid a broader conflict. U.S. military assets remain deployed across the Middle East, including naval forces, fighter aircraft, and missile defense systems designed to protect American personnel and allies. Washington has also engaged in diplomatic efforts with regional and international partners, encouraging dialogue and de-escalation wherever possible. At the same time, the U.S. continues to monitor Iran's military activities and has warned against attacks targeting American forces or commercial shipping routes. The balance between military preparedness and diplomatic engagement remains one of the most challenging aspects of U.S. foreign policy. Every new development is carefully evaluated because even a small incident could trigger wider regional consequences that affect millions of people. Beyond military and political developments, the conflict has had significant humanitarian and economic consequences. Civilians across the region continue to face uncertainty as governments strengthen security measures and prepare for possible emergencies. International organizations remain concerned about displaced families, humanitarian access, and the protection of civilian infrastructure. Meanwhile, financial markets closely watch every major announcement from the region. Oil prices, shipping costs, and global supply chains can all be affected by developments in the Middle East, especially if important maritime routes face disruptions. Businesses, airlines, and shipping companies continue to adjust their operations in response to changing security conditions. Around the world, policymakers recognize that stability in the Middle East is closely connected to global economic confidence, making diplomatic efforts increasingly important. As of now, the future of the Israel-Iran-United States confrontation remains uncertain. Military forces continue to remain vigilant, intelligence agencies monitor developments continuously, and diplomatic negotiations seek to prevent another major escalation. Experts believe that the coming weeks and months will depend on political decisions, regional diplomacy, and whether all parties choose restraint over confrontation. While tensions remain high, many world leaders continue to call for dialogue, stability, and peaceful solutions instead of further violence. The international community understands that another large-scale conflict could have far-reaching consequences for regional security, the global economy, and millions of civilians. For now, the world continues to watch closely, hoping that diplomacy will succeed in preventing another devastating chapter in one of the world's most closely followed geopolitical crises. As the conflict between Israel, Iran, and the United States continues to dominate international headlines, the world remains focused on one critical question: what comes next? Behind every official statement, military deployment, and diplomatic meeting lies a complex web of strategic interests that has developed over decades. Israel continues to emphasize that protecting its national security is its highest priority, particularly against threats it believes originate from Iran and Iranian-backed groups operating across the Middle East. Iranian leaders maintain that their military capabilities are intended to deter attacks and defend the country's sovereignty while continuing to support regional allies. Meanwhile, the United States remains deeply involved as Israel's closest security partner, maintaining military forces throughout the region while also engaging with allies and regional governments to reduce the risk of a wider war. Intelligence agencies monitor developments every hour, naval vessels patrol key waterways, air defense systems remain on high alert, and diplomats continue working behind the scenes in an effort to prevent another dangerous escalation. Every military movement is carefully analyzed because even a limited exchange could have consequences far beyond the Middle East. Energy markets respond almost instantly to breaking news, investors react to changing security conditions, and governments around the world prepare contingency plans in case tensions rise further. For millions of civilians living across the region, uncertainty has become part of everyday life, with many hoping that diplomacy will succeed before another major confrontation occurs. Experts continue to debate whether the current situation represents a temporary pause or merely the beginning of another chapter in a long-running geopolitical rivalry. Some analysts believe that increased international mediation could help reduce tensions, while others warn that mistrust between the parties. Documentary ending narration. As this chapter of history continues to unfold, one truth stands above everything else: wars may begin with political decisions, but their consequences are carried by ordinary people. The confrontation involving Israel, Iran, and the United States has demonstrated how quickly regional tensions can capture the attention of the entire world, influencing diplomacy, global markets, and international security. While the future remains uncertain, the choices made by leaders in the days ahead will determine whether the region moves toward further confrontation or renewed diplomacy. Until then, the world continues to watch every development with caution, knowing that peace is far more difficult to achieve than conflict. Thank you for watching. If you found this documentary informative, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more in-depth coverage of major global events. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next documentary.